In this video, we're going to cover how to create a pivot table in Google Sheets that includes a calculated field. So you can see here we have a data set of loan detail information. One of the fields is original balance. Another is the amount of principal payments made on a loan. And we want to create a pivot table with a calculated field that subtracts these principal payments from the original balance to get a remaining balance calculated field in our pivot table. But the first thing you need to do is insert a pivot table. So I'm going to click anywhere in my data set, go up to the data ribbon. About midway down is the option for pivot table. It will select what it thinks you want to include in your pivot table. If you want to add data later on in the future, you might want to change the end of this range reference to just the column letter so that it's infinite. So below that is two options, whether or not we want to insert this pivot table in a new sheet or the existing one we're on. We want a new sheet, so I'm going to click create, and you can see on this new sheet a blank pivot table appears. It's blank because we need to define what fields we want as the row and or column labels, and also what fields we want in our values. So to the right here you can see we have a pivot table editor window, and the first thing I want to do is add row labels or categories. Well, I want that to be the branch location. Now you can see here we have our 4 branch values. We also have a blank above it because we made our pivot table data range infinite with just the column reference. If we want to remove this blank here, we can go down to the filter section. I'm also going to select the branch location, and you can see currently it's set to showing all items. We can uncheck this box for blanks, click OK, and that will remove the blank values. So what I also want to do is add a subcategory to our branch locations. I want the loan type. So up in this row section, I'm going to click add and then loan type. And now we have everything broken out by branch and then the 3 different loan types. Now currently it's set to subtotal all our values once we input values. If we want to remove those totals, we can uncheck the box here for loan type and also branch. So now I want to add our value fields. First one I want to add is the original balance. I also want to add principal payments made on the loans. And finally, we want to add a calculated field that subtracts principal payments made from the original balance. So also under the value section, I'm going to click add again. There's this first option here that says calculated field. And once I click on that, a calculated field appears with zeros because we need to input a formula telling it what we want it to do. Now, when you're doing this, you need to think about what the field names are on your original data set. So if you need to, go back to the original data set, look at your header names. They need to appear as exactly as they are here. So I have original balance, 2 words, principal payments, 2 words. So since we're dealing with text when we're inputting the formula, we need to enclose this in single quotes. So we have original balance minus principal payments. And once we do that, you can see we have our calculated field. Now the only other thing I'd like to do here is change these headers. You can see it's pretty easy with pre-existing fields, all I really want to do is just delete this sum of. But with this calculated field, we need to delete the whole thing. We'll call this remaining balance. So that is how you can add a calculated field to a pivot table in Google Sheets. Hey, if you like what you saw, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.